How you doing, guys? This actually is the first video I've done from home and I don't know how long. That's right, I'm off today. Stupid me decided to go out and play last night. Hold on, I need some coffee. Not like I haven't before, but I felt as though I must have made up for lost time. I hope I had fun. Somebody's going to have to let me in on what I did last night. One thing I have always hated were people who couldn't take responsibility for their actions. You know, those people, it's always somebody else's fault. I think it was about 10 years, actually it was about 10 years ago. I used to work with a JW at a job. She and I did not get along at all. How that started was, I was a single witness, she was a single witness, so I guess I was automatically supposed to fall in love with her. Didn't work out that way, I just didn't like the bitch. As the months progressed, she was causing me more problems. I think I went into this in a previous video. But now this girl was not in good standing on the job as it was because she was just flat out a horrible worker. She would proceed to blame me on every little thing. She couldn't do her job because of me. I threw her off. It got to the point where I had to leave the department and leave the shift entirely. Still proceeded to blame me. Well, when she realized she wasn't causing me enough damage, she took it to her elders. Apparently, I was hurting her spirituality. Well, this got back and forth to my congregation. We weren't in the same congregation, but she was in a neighboring congregation. And her elders proceeded to call my hall. Now, I used to go out in service with the coordinator of my congregation every week, so he would keep me updated on this. Well, I was hurting her spirituality. She was turning me in for every little thing. God knows where she was getting this information. It got to the point where I said to the coordinator, I'm like, dude, I don't even work with this girl. I don't even see her. So how am I hurting her spirituality? He was as perplexed as I was. I said, I don't know. Well, it finally got to the point where her elders finally had asked her, well, are you still working with this guy? And she goes, no. And they told her, well, he isn't the problem, then you are. That set her off. She was convinced that I ruined her standing in the congregation. And all I wanted was from some distance. Her job was still on the line, and I guess I was his fault for that too. She could never take responsibility for the fact that she was a horrible worker, probably a horrible witness. She was just Looney Tunes, could not accept the responsibility. Now, we've all known people like this over the years. It was always somebody else's fault. I have a neighbor that's constantly crying about that, his lot in life. He's a flat-out horrible person. He's nasty, he's got a horrible attitude, and finally I pointed out to him one day, I said, dude, you're an asshole. He said, well, it's not my fault. Of course, it's always somebody else's fault. He blames a member of his family for it, who has been dead for over 10 years. I'm like, dude, since this person has been dead for 10 years, what have you been doing to improve yourself over the last decade? Not a damn thing. You are still an asshole. You know, looking in YouTube land, what's been going on in the XJW community, I'm not going to mention the person's name because flat out, to be honest with you, I've only watched the guy once or twice. I thought he was a pompous ass when I first watched him, so I haven't watched him since. But I've been hearing a lot of what's been going on, been catching a lot of videos this week. And to flat out trash your wife on a platform that obviously reaches many, many people is flat out wrong. I mean, let's face it. I've had marital problems over the years, way back when, and my ex-wife and I, yes, we did trash talk each other. We didn't have social media at the time, so it was limited to whoever we spoke to. But flat out to take advantage of a very large platform, because this guy does have a very large following, is just flat out wrong, and it was pretty shitty. And I said he was a pompous ass. Well, he's more than just a pompous ass. He's a royal piece of shit. But to trash talk your wife and do damage over that kind of distance is flat out wrong. We had somebody else in the community just a few years ago who would blame everything on other people. And I think some of you may know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention that piece of shit either. He was an awful person because he was raised Jehovah's Witness. I mean, there's so many people that flat out say that. I'm loved this way because I was raised Jehovah's Witness. But you know something? You can only blame an organization for so long. If you get away from it, you got to take the responsibility for yourself. This perverted piece of shit's got to take responsibility for himself. And this other piece of shit, this pompous ass, has got to take responsibility for yourself. It takes two to tango. And in most cases, it's not one person's fault. It's generally two people. But although one person may be more the asshole than the other, but I don't think, dude, that it was your wife. You can play this and that and the other thing. She's not letting you have sex, so you got to go find prostitutes. Well, dude, have you looked in the mirror? Are you treating her like shit? Maybe she flat out doesn't want to have sex with you because you're an asshole. Did you ever consider that? But to go on a public platform the way you did really sucks. I don't have much else to say about it because, like I said, I've been out of the loop for some time. And I'm kind of hungover right now. That's pretty much all I wanted to say on the subject. But the ones who I'll be looking out for are those that will come to his defense. See, the people that generally will come to the defense only hear that one side, and they judge the other side. And I've seen this so many times in this community over the years. They will stick by one side. And the thing is, when you put somebody on a pedestal like that, they can do no wrong. Are you not seeing what you're doing? Did you not do that when you were one of Jehovah's Witnesses, when you used to worship Watchtower, when you used to look up to these governing body members, only to find out that they were shysters and they were lying to you? Now you look at them like they were a piece of shit. Consider that when you come into this idiot's defense. Because someday you're going to be left with egg on your face as well. That's pretty much all I wanted to say, guys. You have a good day. I'll be back soon, and hopefully I'm in better spirits.